Assalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is a blessing to have you with me again as we continue our journey through the beautiful text of Arabic grammar, the Matan Al-Ajrumiyyah. Our goal, inshallah, is to truly master this science so that one day we can earn an ijazah, a license to teach this knowledge to others.
I'm so glad you've come back to continue your studies.
So in our last session, we set the stage. We learned from the author, Ibn Ajrum, that all meaningful speech in Arabic, which we call al-kalam, is built from just three types of words. We have the ism, which is the noun, the fi'l, which is the verb, and the harf, the particle.
Okay, but this brings up a really practical question. When you're reading the Quran or any Arabic text, you see a word. How do you know for sure that it's an ism? What are the clues, what are the signs that separate it from
the fi'l and the harf?
Well, the answer is in its signs. The ism has very clear, unmistakable signs, or what we call in Arabic, alamat. Think of them like fingerprints left at a crime scene. They are proof. So today, our job is to become grammar detectives and learn how to spot these signs.
So let's begin with the very first sign, and it's a big one. This sign is called Al-Khafd. Let's take a closer look.
The word Al-Khafd has two meanings. In everyday Arabic, it just means to lower something. But for us, in grammar, it's a technical term for the genitive case. And how do we see it? Well, its main footprint, its biggest clue, is that little vowel mark that goes under the last letter of a word, the kasra. Ibn Ajrum starts his list with this exact sign. He says the ism is known by, let's say it slowly, bil khafd, by al-khafd. This is a surefire test. If a word is in the state of khafd, it has to be an ism. A verb can never, ever be in this state.
So you might be asking, how does a noun get into this state of khafd? It doesn't just happen by itself. Something has to cause it. It's put into this state by a special particle that comes before it, what we call a harf al-khafd, a particle of lowering. Here are some of the most common ones you'll see all the time. Min, which is from, ila, to, an, about, ala, upon, and fi, which means in. Also, the letters we use to take an oath, the waw, the ba, and the ta, they also force the noun after them into this state of khafd, something we recite every single day. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Look closely. The word ism ends with a kasra, ismi. Why? Because that little particle bi came right before it. And then look at the name of Allah. It also ends with a kasra, Allahi. Now, this is for another reason we'll study later called idafa, but for now, just see that the kasra is a clear sign, a proof, that both the word ism and the word Allah are nouns.
Okay, let's move on to the second sign that the author gives us. The second clue for finding an ism is called Tanween. Now, Tanween is a very special feature of Arabic. It's that n sound you hear at the end of some nouns. But here's the trick. You don't actually write the letter nun. It is a sound without a letter. And what it does is it makes a noun indefinite, kind of like saying a or an in English. So after talking about al-khafd, Ibn Ajrum gives us our second piece of evidence. He just says, wa tanween, and a tanween. That's it. This is another sign that only belongs to the ism. If you find a word with tanween on it, you can be 100% sure it's a noun.
Let's look at this comparison here. We see the name Muhammadun. You hear that un sound at the end? That's tanween. Or the word kitabun, a book, that's also tanween. The real test is this. Can the word you're looking at even accept tanween? A verb, for instance, like yadribu, he hits, can never become yadribun. It's impossible. But a noun like kitab can easily become kitabun. The fact that it can accept it is the proof that it's an ism.
Now we're at the third sign of the noun, and you're going to see this one all the time. It's the entrance of the Alif-Lam. The Alif-Lam, together pronounced al, is the definite article in Arabic. It's the same as the in English. The rule is very, very simple. If a word can have al at its beginning, it is an ism. And here is a very important rule to remember. Alif-Lam and tanween are enemies.
They can never be on the same word at the same time. Why? Because al makes a noun definite, like the book, while tanween makes it indefinite, a book. A word cannot be both definite and indefinite.
And so, Ibn Adram finishes his list of the main signs of the noun with this third proof. He says, وَدُخُولُ الْأَلِفْ وَاللَّامِ, which means, and the entrance of the alif and the lam. So just the ability of a word to let al come in front of it, that is what proves it's a noun. This slide shows the change perfectly. On one side, you have the indefinite nouns with tanween, rajulun, a man, and baytun, a house. Now look what happens when we add the Alif-Lam. The tanween disappears. Rajulun becomes ar-rajulo, the man. Baytun becomes al-baytu, the house. The noun is now specific, definite. This transformation belongs only to the ism.
So, now you have your toolkit. As a detective of Arabic, you have three powerful tools. First, you look for al-Khafd, the genitive case, which you see most often as a kasra. Second, you look for at-tanween, that N sound at the end. And third, you look for the definite article,
Alif wal-lam.
If you see even one of these three signs on a word, congratulations, you have identified an ism.
And we will stop our lesson here for today. Alhamdulillah, we have now covered the first signs of the ism, just as Ibn Ajrum presents them in the chapter called Babu Ma'rifat Alamat al-I'rab, the chapter of knowing the signs of grammatical states. We've mastered the first part of this very important chapter.
So, you are now equipped to identify the ism. But what about the verb? It has its own signs, its own secrets, its own alamat that give away its identity. What are they? How are they different from the signs of the noun? Well, our investigation will continue, and the secrets of the fi'l are waiting for us in our next explainer, inshallah. Until then, Assalamu alaykum wa rahmatullah.